Welcome to Sicily, Italy's largest island. Sicily is famous for its exceptional beaches, charming towns and ancient ruins, but also for Europe's most dangerous volcano. You're watching World Travel Guide, and this is the ultimate Sicily travel guide. Grab your popcorn and enjoy the journey. Sicily is the largest island in the Mediterranean Sea and one of the 20 regions of Italy. The region has 5 million inhabitants, with Palermo as its capital. Sicily is located in the central Mediterranean Sea, south of the Italian peninsula, from which it is separated by the narrow Strait of Messina. For centuries it has been the crossroads of Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. The imprints left throughout the past centuries from all these diverse cultures has created Sicily's unique identity, rich in history and extraordinary food. Today, Sicily is home to 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites and attracts over 15 million tourists each year. Mount Etna is the most famous landmark of Sicily. With a current height of 3,357 meters, Etna is the highest and most active volcano in Europe. Towering above the city of Catania, it has been growing for about 500,000 years and is in the midst of a series of eruptions that began in 2013. Etna has displayed a variety of eruption styles, including violent explosions and voluminous lava flows. More than 25% of Sicily's population lives on Etna's slopes, and it is the main source of income for the island, both from agriculture due to the rich volcanic soil and tourism. Appreciated in summertime by hikers who want to visit the active craters of the summit areas, this volcano offers the extraordinary opportunity of practicing ski sports during the winter. The ski resorts of Nicolosi and Piano Provenzano provide good lifts leading to the downhill ski slopes, or to the ski schools and equipment rental agencies. Those who prefer Nordic skiing can find natural routes traced by the Etna Park Authority. Since 2013, Mount Etna is in the UNESCO's World Heritage List for its scientific importance and cultural and educational value of global significance. Catania is the second largest city of Sicily, with a population of around 300,000. It lies on the Ionian Sea, under the shadow of Mount Etna. Mount Etna is ever-present and has to a large extent shaped both the history and the actual existence of Catania. On several occasions, volcanic eruptions destroyed the city, the most devastating of which happened in the 17th century. In 1669, Catania was covered in lava, and then, just 24 years later in 1693, an earthquake shook the town down to its foundations. The reaction to this latter catastrophe was amazing. The entire old part of town was rebuilt in Baroque style, with large, wide-open squares and avenues. The most remarkable aspect, however, was the building material used: lava. Catania is essentially a gray city and unique in the world for this. The central old town of Catania features exuberant late Baroque architecture and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Tourism is a fast-growing industry in Catania. Lately, the administration and private companies have made several investments in the hospitality industry in order to make tourism a competitive sector in the metropolitan city. Its airport, the Catania Fontanarossa Airport, is the largest in southern Italy. Taormina is one of Sicily's legendary resort towns. Twisting medieval streets and a 2nd-century Greek theater add to its romantic air, which inspired the writings of D.H. Lawrence and Truman Capote. You can take a cable car to the beach or walk uphill behind the Church of St. Joseph for panoramic views. The town of Taormina is perched on a cliff overlooking the Ionian Sea, and is approximately a 45-minute drive away from Mount Etna. Besides the ancient Greek theater, it has many old churches, lively bars, fine restaurants and antique shops. Many exhibitions and events are organized during the summer in Taormina. The ancient theater is the exceptional stage for pop and classical concerts, opera and important performances. Syracuse, or Siracusa, as it is known in Italian, is one of the most beautiful places in Sicily and in the whole of Italy. A historical town with an important past, Syracuse has a beautiful city center with a breathtaking cathedral and an archaeological park with beautiful ruins from Greek and Roman times. The city was founded by ancient Greek Corinthians and Tannenes and became a very powerful city-state. Syracuse was allied with Sparta and Corinth and exerted influence over the entirety of Magna Graecia, of which it was the most important city. Described by Cicero as the greatest Greek city and the most beautiful of them all, it equaled Athens in size during the 5th century BC. Today, the city is listed by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. Ortigia is a small island which is the historical center of Syracuse. The island, also known as the Old City, contains many historical landmarks. Ortigia is separated from the city by a narrow channel. 2 bridges connect the island to mainland Sicily. Ortigia is a popular location for shopping, entertainment, and is also a residential area. Ragusa is one of the most picturesque UNESCO-listed Baroque towns of southeastern Sicily. Like much of this region of southeast Sicily, Ragusa was reborn following the devastating earthquake of 1669. Some residents, empowered by the loss of their homes, sought higher ground and built a more modern town, whilst others rebuilt directly atop Ragusa's medieval network of narrow streets. The result? Ragusa became a city of 2 halves and of 2 faces, Ragusa Superior, that sits on top of the hill, and the old town, Ragusa Ibla, that is on the lower part. Ragusa Ibla is the magnet for tourists, with a wide array of Baroque architecture, including several stunning palaces and churches, though the upper town is still worth a visit. "40 minutes drive from Ragusa and nestled within a valley formed by 4 hills, lies the spectacular town of Mount Etna. One of 8 UNESCO Heritage Val di Noto towns and cities in Sicily whose architectural landscape changed forever following the devastating earthquake of 1693. The medieval old town once carved into rock has been replaced by stunning Baroque facades, extravagant churches and beautiful palaces, the old and new connected by a maze of narrow streets and staircases. Mount Etna is known as the city of 100 bells and 100 churches, and its most famous buildings are the Baroque San Giorgio Cathedral and the San Pietro Church. Mount Etna is also known for being the very best place to enjoy authentic Sicilian chocolate. The chocolate here is quite different, often flavored with chili, cinnamon, or vanilla. For die-hard chocolate lovers, there is an annual chocolate festival and even a chocolate museum. If you're trying to escape the tourist crowd and breathe some fresh mountain air, Enna is your best choice. Unlike most of Sicily's attractions, this charming little town is inland and not on the coast. Indeed, it's located right at the center of the island. Enna occupies a hilltop position on one of the highest points on the island with an elevation of 1,000 meters. Sitting high above the Ditano Valley, the town offers great views over the craggy landscape dotted with hill towns and villages. At the top of the town and dominating its skyline is the huge Lombardy Castle. It is considered to be one of the most important military buildings in Sicily and is one of the largest medieval castles in Italy. The layout of the narrow streets in the historic center gives a medieval feel to this city, and the archaeological sites are a testimony of the Greek and Roman period. Ultimately, Enna's economy is essentially based on agriculture, so you can be assured that you will be eating delicious fresh food when you visit. Agrigento is a city on the southern coast of Sicily and capital of the province of Agrigento. It was one of the leading cities of Magna Graecia during the Golden Age of ancient Greece. Agrigento is a major tourist center due to its extraordinarily rich archaeological legacy. It also serves as an agricultural center for the surrounding region. The large complex of temples and tombs in Agrigento dates as far back as 500 BC and includes Sicily's best preserved Doric temple, the Concordia Temple, one of the most perfect to survive anywhere. Along with it in the eastern group is the Juno Licinia Temple, almost as large, and in the western group is Temple of the Olympian Zeus, the largest of them at 40 meters but toppled by an earthquake. The circular Doric Heracles Temple, also in the western group, was destroyed by the Carthaginians and rebuilt by the Romans, only to be partially destroyed in an earthquake. The entire group is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. About 20 minutes drive from the Valley of the Temples, the Scala dei Turchi is another must-see if your trip to Sicily takes you in this region. This white limestone cliff is famous for its particular shape. It looks like erosion has carved steps. And if you add the turquoise color of the sea and the fine sand beaches that border it, you will understand why Scala dei Turchi is a very popular place. Several dozen people gather here at the end of the day to watch the sunset, probably hundreds in high season. It's a show you really shouldn't miss. Selinunte was an ancient Greek city on the southwestern coast of Sicily, at the mouth of a small river of the same name. It was the most westerly of the Greek colonies in Sicily, and for this reason they soon came into contact with the Phoenicians of western Sicily and the native Sicilians in the west and northwest of the island. The seaside village boasts a strategic location, well linked to the surrounding tourist attractions, easily reachable by car from the main towns of western Sicily. Today, Selinunte is Europe's largest archaeological park. Walking around it, you will not simply find yourself among a load of ruins, but feel the sensation of finding yourself in an old Greek city where the temples, but also the walls, the streets, the burial grounds and the small family dwellings are easily recognizable. It takes around 3 hours to visit the Acropolis on foot, but there's also an electric train running across the park. Trapani is a beautiful city on the west coast of Sicily. Founded by Elymians, the city is still an important fishing port and the main gateway to the nearby Agadi Islands. Stretching out below Monte Erice, Trapani provides a variety of attractions that will satisfy every taste. It is just 1.5 hours from Palermo, and the ferries travel to the volcanic Agadi Islands as well as to Pantelleria, Sardinia and France. It has an airport and access to the northern and southern coasts from the west of Sicily. There are lovely beaches and a nice waterfront walkway along the ancient walls, but also plenty of opportunity to relax and enjoy the sea. The old city of Trapani dates from the later medieval and early modern periods. There are no more remains of the ancient city, and many of the city's historic buildings are designed in the Baroque style. San Vito lo Capo is a small resort town situated in the northwest of Sicily, with crystal clear waters of the Tyrrhenian Sea. The San Vito beach is a gorgeous stretch of white sand beach at the foot of Monte Monaco, and is part of what has made the town San Vito lo Capo so famous in Italy and beyond. The wide, 3-kilometer-long stretch of soft white sand, palm trees and clear blue-green waters, sheltered by a soaring headland at one end, make the beach at San Vito lo Capo look like a postcard scene. No wonder that it's one of the top beach destinations in Italy. The surprise is that it's less crowded than many others in the summer. Palermo is the capital of Sicily and is over 2,700 years old. The city is located in the northwest of Sicily, by the Gulf of Palermo in the Tyrrhenian Sea. Palermo's history has been anything but stable, and the city has passed from one dominating power to another with remarkable frequency. Its strategic position at the heart of the Mediterranean brought wave upon wave of invaders, including the Phoenicians, the Carthaginians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Arabs and the French. The result of this quilted history is evident today in the vast range of architectural styles, and in the many place names whose etymology bypasses Italian linguistic traditions. In a world where so many places have become tourist-friendly to a fault, visiting Palermo is still somewhat of an adventure. You won't find many restaurants with menus translated into 5 different languages. You may have trouble communicating in English in many places, and some parts of the old town center have remained untouched since they were bombed during the war. Palermo is the main seat of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, Arab Norman Palermo, and the cathedral churches of Cefalù and Monreale. The city is also going through careful redevelopment, preparing to become one of the major cities of the Euro-Mediterranean area. Cefalù is one of the most beautiful towns in Italy, but also one of the busiest holiday destinations and resorts on Sicily. It's located on the northern coast of Sicily, about 70 kilometers from Palermo. The town has a population of just under 14,000, but despite its size, it attracts millions of tourists from all parts of Sicily and also from all over Italy and Europe. The historic district clings around its beating heart, which is undoubtedly the Duomo, a gigantic cathedral built by Roger II, the Norman. The cathedral, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, begun in 1131, in a style of Norman architecture which would be more accurately called Sicilian Romanesque. The exterior is well preserved and is largely decorated with interlacing pointed arches. The Cefalù beach is long and sandy, and the sea is perfect for bathing. The town is also full of narrow and pretty roads with interesting shops and restaurants overlooking the beach. The Aeolian Islands lie off the north coast of Sicily. These 7 islands are all of volcanic origin, and some still active. The best known is perhaps Stromboli, whose pyrotechnics light the sky each night, much to the delight of passengers on cruise ships which time their departures for the display. The volcanic activity has created beautiful coastlines of craggy rocks. Water sports of all kinds are another draw for tourists who find beaches, boat rentals, diving and scenic boat excursions. To get to Aeolian Islands, you will have to take a hydrofoil or a boat from Milazzo, Palermo or Messina. For example, the boat from Milazzo to Vulcano takes about 90 minutes. Once on the islands, cars are forbidden and reserved for residents exclusively. Messina is the 3rd largest city on Sicily and the 13th largest city in Italy, with a population of more than 230,000 inhabitants. It is located near the northeast corner of Sicily, at the Strait of Messina, and it is an important access terminal to the Calabria region. Messina's well-protected natural harbor and its position close to the mainland have determined the city's history from the earliest times. But its location as the gateway to Sicily has also meant that tourists tend to hurry through it on their way to the many other attractions of the island. A devastating earthquake in 1908 destroyed many of Messina's historic monuments. Though the city's cultural cachet doesn't quite match that of its more coveted rivals, it does claim one of Sicily's finest cathedrals and an outstanding regional museum, but also some interesting festivals that fill its streets with music and color. The best time for the most enjoyable sightseeing in Sicily is from April through mid-June or mid-September through October. During these periods, the sun will be out, but it's unlikely to be uncomfortably hot, and there will be fewer tourists than during the peak summer season months. If you want to avoid the rain, visit in the spring. No matter when you plan to go, every first Sunday of the month throughout the year, all state-run museums, galleries, parks and ruins offer free admission. The official beach season in Sicily begins in June, the time when most tourists begin to arrive. However, the sea is usually warm enough for swimming in May, so those who want to enjoy it without the crowds may want to come then, especially during the latter half of the month. September, and often October, can also be ideal as the sea won't have cooled much, yet many of the tourists will be gone. Mount Etna can be visited and hiked all year long, but the best months to visit is when temperatures are pleasantly warm and crowds won't be extreme, May or late September and October. More important, however, is the time of day you plan to come. Arriving early in the morning not only means a more tranquil experience but better views as clouds tend to form later in the day. The best way to get around Sicily is by train, as it allows you to quickly and affordably get from the island's various cities while still enjoying the scenery. Be sure to validate your ticket before boarding to avoid fines. Buses are another affordable transportation method and may be your next best option. They're less expensive than trains, however, they don't get you there as quickly. You can purchase bus tickets in many places, including newsstands, bars and tobacco shops, but be sure to bring cash to pay for your ticket. Cars can give you more freedom when traveling throughout Sicily, but you'll have to contend with traffic, confusing tolls, limited traffic zones and parking. Since Sicily is surrounded by water, you can travel by ferry as well, though service may be limited in the winter months. You can fly into Sicily via 3 airports, including Palermo, Trapani and Catania Airport. During the 90s, the Italian government planned to build a Strait of Messina bridge to link Sicily with the Italian mainland. The bridge would have been the longest suspension bridge in the world, but the project was cancelled in 2006. Do you find Sicily as fascinating as we do? Let us know in the comments. If you loved this video, hit the like button and subscribe. You should also check out other great travel guides on our channel.